Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. We are recapping the week's nerdy news from Arakus to Stony Stream, Ohio, and everywhere in between. I am one of your co-hosts, Mike Gibson. With me, as always, is Steve Howler. What's up, Steve?
Well, apparently everything in the Midwest lately, because Hawkins, Indiana, Stony Stream, Ohio. I have not touched the 2 episodes of Stranger Things that have dropped today or yesterday. But I can say up until this point, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it is excellent. We are halfway through the second to last episode. And the last episode is 2.5 hours long. I don't know if you knew that, but it is
really? It's a feature-length movie.
Yeah, well, a lot of the episodes have been like at least an hour and a half.
That's true.
A lot of the episodes have been feature-length movies.
Right, I guess it was a surprise when you heard that Thor was only less than 2 hours, and you're like, wait, Marvel can do that?
Thor Love and Thunder is less than 2 hours? I hadn't heard that, because I'm not looking at anything Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 59 minutes or something. It's like just under.
Oh, okay.
But it's the first honestly, Marvel movie in like a long ass time.
Yeah. Honestly, you give me a 90-minute Marvel movie, I will probably love it. Like if you can
tighten it that much, it's gonna be good.
A 90-minute movie, they're like hard to come by. That used to be the standard, and now everything's like too long. Like you can give me everything that a Marvel movie promises, but do it in an hour and a half, and I bet you that's the best Marvel movie ever.
Yeah, we don't need every movie doesn't have to be Endgame, folks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, Kevin Feige. I know you're listening. I'm saying, tighten that stuff down. Give me a 90-minute Marvel movie. It'll crush. So anyway, what do we have this week? It's a little bit of a light week for news. Why do we think it's a light week for news? Because San Diego Comic-Con is coming up at the end of this month, July 21st, the first day of San Diego Comic-Con. And probably a lot of people are saving a bunch of news for San Diego Comic-Con.
We have heard at least Apple Plus and Warner have dropped their panels. So
we're getting
definitely forthcoming.
We talked about it right before we recorded. You're saying there's definitely Warner Brothers said they're doing a House of the Dragon panel.
Yep.
As well as a Sandman panel.
Yep, we got confirmation Netflix is doing a Sandman panel, and these are in Hall H, the big, the big hall. One. So Netflix is pushing Sandman hard.
Yeah. Why is Sandman not on HBO Max? It's a DC property. Why is it on Netflix?
I mean, I'm looking at book 1 of Sandman here. It's DC Black Label. Like,
I don't understand why it's. I mean, I'm sure whatever deal was probably done before HBO Max was even like a thing, you know.
Well, yeah, because there's been Sandman series in development hell since like time. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
You're right. Yeah,
so it might have been some antiquated.
Yeah,
it's been out there before Warner and HBO and the whole thing.
Yep. I think there was a rumor that Marvel may be skipping San Diego Comic-Con this year, but then I heard that some Marvel stuff might be there. Maybe like Sony Marvel might be there, but like MCU proper may not be there because they're going to hold off for D23.
I think they said MCU Marvel will be there. I just don't know if it's going to be the presence that it had been in like years bygone.
Right. So no word on what they're presenting. Warner Brothers still hasn't said what DC stuff they're going to present. I would be shocked if they didn't do a big Black Adam push.
Right.
I feel like we're going to get a big Black Adam push and probably a Shazam because those are things that both coming out this year.
What do you think? Do you think they're going to have a big Flash push, Mike?
I was going to say, still interesting to know what's going on with the Flash. This week's Flash Watch segment, we don't really have an update because there hasn't been one, but I will say... Multiverse RPT on Twitter. You can go to our Twitter page. I posted right before we started recording, I posted a poll on what do you think Warner Brothers Pictures should do with The Flash? Do you think they should recast and reshoot? Should they release it as is, or should they scrap the entire thing? There's no way they're going to scrap the entire thing. I personally believe, and we talked about it last week, I personally believe they should recast and reshoot the movie without Ezra Miller and replace that actor with somebody else. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that's what I think they should do. So go to our Twitter feed and vote on that poll. And if we remember, we'll read the results next week.
Right.
I think the last time we did a poll, I made a big thing about it, and then I forgot to read the results. But we'll see. Hopefully,
happens to the best of us.
Happens to the best of us. So what are we talking about this week? Well, we're talking about DC stuff. We might as well talk about the new trailer and confirmed release date for Harley Quinn Season 3, the animated series exclusive to HBO Max. We'll be hitting that service on July 28th, and boy, did we get an awesome trailer for Harley Quinn Season 3.
Yeah. Let me say this. I have not seen Harley Quinn Season 1 or Season 2.
Right.
I will now be watching them because holy shit, this was great.
100% should. It's great.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. Like I had no idea what I was getting into, and it was just fun ridiculousness.
Yep. Yeah, it is fun ridiculousness.
It was like Doom Patrol without the portals and donkeys' asses.
Yeah. Hard R-rated animated show. Spoilers for season 2, but I'm very excited to see Harley and Ivy progress and continue in their relationship. It seems like they are just kind of taking on all of Gotham City together. It seems like they might be up against Swamp Thing at some point in this show. He showed up in the trailer a couple times. Very excited about that.
Oh, I also didn't realize that Clayface is voiced by Alan Tudyk.
He also does the Joker.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. He is a great. I mean, no one can touch Mark Hamill, but he is a great Joker. Oh yeah. And yes, he is. His version of Clayface is excellent. Excellent.
I actually looked like watching the trailer. I was like, I wonder who's voicing Clayface, and I went and looked it up. Like, shit, it's Alan Tudyk, because apparently that man can do no wrong.
Yeah, Harley has like her own little crew, and it includes Clayface, voiced by Alan Tudyk, King Shark, voiced by Ron Funches, Dr. Psycho, voiced by the guy from Tony Hale from Arrested Development, and an old guy in a robotic wheelchair, voiced by Jason Alexander. I can't remember his name. Cy something. The voice cast for the show in general is great. It's definitely Diedrich Bader does Batman. It's so funny. It's so worth watching. I actually restarted watching season 1 just because I needed a fix of it the other day, and now season 3 is finally here. Very excited about it. So check that out, July 28th. If you're not busy watching all the other crazy amount of content that's coming out in this month and next month. July and August are full of.
July and August are full, but you add September in there, and you're in for a shit show.
Yeah, I know. There's way too much happening. When does I keep forgetting this because I'm not watching the trailers for it. But when does Thor: Love and Thunder come out?
Friday, Mike.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Are you serious? This Friday it comes out.
I'm going at Friday at 9:00 if you want to come with me.
Ah, damn! I did not know that. Because I don't watch the trailers. Okay.
So now that you know, it's debuting Thursday night. Plan accordingly, sir.
All right, I'm going to be out of town, but maybe I will try to sneak out to a movie theater and see Thor: Love and Thunder.
That's great.
That is great.
I forgot you've been under that much of rap.
Really, no idea. I went to see Lightyear with my wife and my son. It was great, by the way. Loved it. But there was a Thor: Love and Thunder trailer, and I had to close my eyes and plug my ears, and I was talking out loud because it was really loud. We were in the DLX theater, the big screen, and so I was like, I don't want to hear anything that they're saying. I just kept saying that over and over again. And I haven't seen this. But when I was done, I could tell my son was asking my wife, "Why is Daddy plugging his ears? Why isn't he watching this?" And
right, your son's probably having the most fun watching this trailer. That's really cool.
I don't know how my wife explained it to him, but afterwards, my son looked at me and goes, "Daddy, I know you didn't want to watch that, but that movie looks awesome!" He was really excited about it.
That's great.
I don't know that he's certainly never seen an MCU trailer in the theater. He might have seen one just on YouTube if I was watching it or whatever. But
that's amazing.
Anyway, okay, so it comes out Friday. Thank you for letting me know. I will try to make that happen. I'll see what I can do. But anyway, speaking of Marvel, we're not really talking about the MCU here, but we're going to talk about Sony's universe of Marvel characters, whatever they call it.
Why don't they just call it the Spider-Verse?
Sony Spider-Verse? I don't know. They should 100% call it that.
Like,
they have a movie with Spider-Verse. They have a series. I have a franchise with the word Spider-Verse in it.
Right, and you own the rights to it. Just use it.
Yeah, just call it that. I don't know. Sony. Again, I would love to look at a contract between Sony and Disney. I would love to see what is specified in there.
I read some leaks about Kraven, and it made me even more funny, like trying to figure out what is going on.
The interview that the actor gave,
Aaron Taylor Johnson
talked about. He described Kraven.
Yeah, it was like
okay. I gotta say, it was a little blown out of proportion because the quote that I read was. It was taken out of context, and he described Kraven as somebody who cares about and protects wildlife or something, and that was like sending nerds like crazy. But if you read the entire article, his quote was, "Kraven is a hunter," was like the first thing that he said, and then and a couple other things, and something that So I understand like a lot of hunters define themselves as people that respect and cherish wildlife, even though they go out and kill them. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Myself, our good friend Adam,
I think there's
people can do it responsibly. However,
I think there is room for Kraven to be both, and I think in this Sony world of taking all these villains and somehow trying to make the audience want to root for them, making them a hero in some way, it would be impossible to not make Kraven someone that respects and cares about the natural world in some way. Otherwise, nobody's going to root for him in his own movie. Nobody's going
to root for this antagonist that's just a ruthless killer and hunter of any and everything. What?
No.
Really? They wouldn't want to use that as a... Why would they use that as a protagonist?
I don't know, Steve. It just seems like their only business model. They don't want to bring in Miles Morales. They don't want to bring in a hero. They just want to.
They don't want to bring in all
about villains.
Right. They don't want to bring in all these, positive influences that would actually make them money and have people want to go see the movies.
Give me a Miles Morales. Give me a Ben Reilly, for God's sake. I need to see Spider-Man punching one of these people. Otherwise, I don't care.
Give me Man Spider. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, just something. Just something. You got
Spider-Ham? Spider-Ham.
You have a whole
Spider-Ham
universe full of different Spider-Men. You have Spider-Women. You have tons of them. Anyway,
Spider-Woman. Give me a Jessica Drew movie. Jesus.
Well, I think they're working on that. We don't know for sure. But speaking of Spider-Women, Emma Roberts has been cast in Sony's Madam Web movie. So this is another Madam Web casting. Another piece of information of this movie of which we have no other information for. Roberts, as an actress, is best known for appearing in many seasons of American Horror Story. She's also in Scream 4, one of my favorite Scream movies. She is joining Dakota Johnson, who is the lead in this Madam Web movie, Sydney Sweeney, Celeste O'Connor, Isabella Merced, and Tahar Rahim. No details about the plot. However, I did read this in this most recent article about Emma Roberts being cast, that Sony intends to market the character of Madam Web as being their own version of Doctor Strange. What? That's got to be just like...
Anyone who can't see the video, I have a very confused look on my face because I did not read that ahead of time, and Mike just dropped that.
I think that's got to be relevant to her connection to the multiverse, right? That's what they have to mean by that. I feel like.
I would think so.
I feel like this Madam Web movie is going to be, definitely going to be multiversal. I feel like it's going to be her and yes, in the comics, the elderly Madam Web has passed her powers to Julia Carpenter, who's a Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl or whatever in the comics. So I don't know. I feel like Dakota Johnson is going to wind up with, whether she's Julia Carpenter or she's the original Madam Web, who knows? I feel like she's going to end up with these multiverse connecting powers, and she's going to pull other Spider-Women from other multiverses and team up with them. That's my guess as of right, based on literally nothing. That's the only thing I can think of that would make possible sense. The only other thing that we know.
So does Emma Roberts come in from the Blow multiverse? That was apparently her film debut.
She was in Blow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't know that. I just looked it up
was
on a
she, like-
Wikipedia page.
Was she like 3? How I feel like
She was
she's
20.
She was 20 when she was in Blow?
10. Math is hard.
Okay, I was gonna say. I was say Blow came out like
Blow was in
20 years ago.
2001. Like, I remember
Yeah,
we were in
okay,
college
yeah.
when Blow came out. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I have severely overestimated the youth of Emma Roberts if she was 20 when she was in
Though
Blow.
she was in the 2013 film Adult World, which did film in Syracuse.
Oh, that's right.
Local
That's how
connections.
You know what? When I was looking at her filmography, I saw that, and for some
Yep.
reason, it felt familiar to me, and it was because I knew it was filmed in our hometown.
It was what, her and Cusack, I think.
Cusack, yeah. I never saw it. Did you ever see that movie?
Nope.
I feel like I should watch it just to be like, hey, I know that place. Hey, I know
Right.
that place. Hey, I know that place.
I've always wanted to do that for a movie, so yeah, I think I probably should just for that reason.
We should record a commentary for it.
There you go.
for this show about nerd things. And the one commentary we do.
Complete non sequitur. Just
Complete
publish
non
an
sequitur.
episode on
Yeah.
local Syracuse film.
The only other thing that we know about this movie is, excuse me, taking a sip of my drink, that the screenplay is by Burke Sharpless and Matt Sazama, who also wrote a little movie called Morbius, the Living Vampire.
Really?
We all know how the world reacted to Morbius, the Living Vampire. So I remember, I feel like we talked about this before Morbius came out when we were talking about Madam Web stuff. And we're like, well, maybe Morbius is actually really good because why would they hire why would they rehire these screenwriters? They must be really happy with what the work they did on Morbius. But then Morbius was not received well, as we've talked about. But hey, Steve.
The first or the second time it was in theaters, for the record.
Yeah, that's true. But Steve, guess what? I have seen Morbius, the Living Vampire.
Oh, really?
Would you like to know what I thought of it?
Yes, please.
I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. I think my expectations were set so low that I was like, oh, this isn't
the bar
that
was
bad.
underground. So.
But yeah, but like, here's the thing. It's bad. It's a bad movie. But it's not worse than like the Venom movies. It's not worse than like Venom or Venom 2. It's like the same level of bad. It feels like a superhero movie that was made in the late 90s or something where people didn't really care about characters or plot or anything and just throw a bunch of special effects in it.
Right.
But I thought it was fine. Like I feel like the only reason that people don't like it as much as the Venom movies is that people care more about the character of Venom and Carnage or whatever than they do about Morbius, the Living Vampire. But if Morbius was a more popular character, then this would easily have made as much money as Venom. It's like, it's almost exactly the same kind of thing. I feel like where this guy gets powers, he's like suffering with them, and he has to stop someone else that has similar powers. That's like so many superhero movies. Like there's definitely a trope in superhero movies of the bad guy is just has the same powers as the hero, but is just evil. Like it happens in Iron Man. Like the same thing. Like Black Panther. It's the same
original
thing.
Ant-Man.
Original Ant-Man. Yeah, exactly. Same kind of thing. And this is just that again. Like, guess what? There's another vampire. He's got to like stop him somehow. You know. But yeah,
does Matt Smith hold up?
Yeah, he's good. He's the bad guy. He's great.
How about Jared Leto? Is he Jared Leto?
Yeah, he's great. He's fine. I don't hate Jared Leto as an actor. I feel like Jared Leto's got a lot of hate recently for being a less than stellar version of the Joker. But again, I think that's more the movie's fault than it was his fault. And Morbius, which again, definitely more the movie's fault than it is his fault. I think he would have been great if this was like, he would have been well cast as this character if it was a better film. But I don't know, like the look of the character, he looks very comic accurate, and I don't know. It's like I said, it's not good, but it's not terrible. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. It was fun-ish to watch, I should say. So anyway, that's my update on the Sony Marvelverse. I've seen one of them. So
there you go. You're
And there I go.
one more in than I am.
Yeah.
So
but,
wait, Jared Leto performances from My So-Called Life to House of Gucci. Where do we hold this?
Well, I can't say that I've seen every Jared Leto movie ever. I have seen My So-Called Life, but not in probably 20 years.
Right, since
more.
it came out.
I haven't seen House of Gucci.
I did not, for the record, I did not realize he was in Fight Club or American
Yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah, he's good in Fight Club. He's good in American Psycho.
It's probably one of those where, like, if I go back and watch it and think about him, I'll realize he's in it and just never click.
Like he won an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club. He's like an Oscar-winning actor. Like he's no slouch. I thought he was good in the Blade Runner sequel too. He's like the kind of the bad guy in that movie. You know, 2049. So I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he's a weirdo in real life.
Yeah,
and that gets.
What are your thoughts on his musical talent?
30 Seconds to Mars is fine. They're like they're fine.
They're a
like
band.
A rock band. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He just always...
I don't have strong feelings. I don't have strong feelings one way or the other. I think he's a better actor than people give him credit for now. I think people
I would agree with that, but
I think people run with his weirdo personality.
Yeah, his like
behind the camera.
Right. The weird method shit that is just weird.
Yeah, and I think the fact that Suicide's when he got cast as the Joker, I think there was a lot of people that were excited for him to be the Joker, and then like the look of the character was off, and like the way the character was portrayed was kind of like got shafted in the film. So I think, and he did a lot of like behind the scenes, really getting really into the character, kind of like method acting, which I think soured a lot of people on Jared Leto. So,
right,
I don't know. That's all I got to say.
There you go. I think, you're right. His biggest downfall was that he, immediately got tabbed as a weirdo after some of the method acting things came out.
Yeah. And so I gotta say, I'm not so sure on Madam Web now that I know it's written by the same people that wrote Morbius, because that was probably the biggest downfall of the movie. Is like the script was dumb.
There you go.
But
maybe they're better at writing spider people than vampires.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't the script. I'm trying to think. Was it the direction or the script? I don't know. I'd have to watch it again, and I don't think I'm ever going to watch it again. So we'll see.
A smattering of applause about this movie from Mike Gibson.
Like, it's fine. Like, no, watch it. It's fun. It's like, oh, cool. Oh. I don't know if you've heard about the post-credit scene being ridiculous. And like the most like ham-fisted forced world building ever. That definitely lives up to the hype. It makes no sense, and it's dumb, and it is just nonsensical. And
perfect.
Yep. That's a whole spoiler for Morbius. It involves Michael Keaton's Vulture character coming through some kind of rift from the multiverse thing. They're just like leaning on the MCU multiverse. Like, oh, they're doing a multiverse thing now, so we can do whatever we want. Let's just make Michael Keaton reappear in this universe and want to team up with. He's got his Vulture wings for no reason, because they only existed in the other universe. And like, how did he? It doesn't make any sense at all. Oh my God,
right. They were Chitauri tech, and
Yes. Did he go through the same thing in this universe to rebuild them, because they were destroyed at the end of the last? It's so stupid. Anyway,
well, let's shift gears to things that are less stupid.
Yes, let's stop talking about this before we completely derail the entire podcast. Amazon has released the first teaser trailer, still not a full trailer. We got an incredibly short teaser. This is a little bit longer teaser for Paper Girls. This is a series that comes out at the end of July, based on the acclaimed book by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang. It's a story of 4 teenage girls who, while delivering newspapers one morning, suddenly find themselves in the middle of a time war. 2 rival troops of time travelers, kind of like fighting an epic war against each other. It's crazy. Steve, I got to say that I recently read book 1 of Paper Girls. My wife has all 3 hardcover volumes of Paper Girls. She has read it and loved it. I had never read it. When I realized that the series is coming out on July 29th, I was like, ooh, I got to read these books. So I read book 1 this past week. It is wild, and it is. I don't know why I expected it to be more tame. knowing that it's from Brian K. Vaughan, who also wrote Y the Last Man and also is currently writing Saga. Saga is a completely wild story. So is Y the Last Man, but the pacing is a little different in Y the Last Man and Saga. Yeah. The pacing in Paper Girls is like bam, bam, bam. We're getting into it. We're moving really fast. This is happening. And I guess I thought it was more down to earth, but it gets hard sci-fi real quick. Hard sci-fi, hard fantasy, time travel, aliens, giant dinosaurs, lasers, just craziness. It's like Back to the Future meets Stranger Things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's great. It is great. This trailer definitely looks a lot like the book. Like, I feel like they did a very good job of adapting it visually. The 4 girls that you see in the trailer look exactly like their counterparts in the book. Ali Wong is playing a character. I love the comedian actress Ali Wong. I think she's great. She's playing a role in the show, which I didn't think I even realized. But yeah, this show comes out July 29th on Amazon Prime. One of the many things coming out this summer. Steve, what did you think of this trailer, having not really as much familiarity with the property?
Right, having zero background on it for the most part, outside of the fact that it was Brian Vaughan and Cliff Chiang.
Right. Cliff Chiang is such a great artist, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
His work on this book is great. I just recently read he's doing that Catwoman Lonely City or whatever for DC. He's such a good artist. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did like a Green Arrow, Black Canary thing back in the day.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Random.
Look at you with a DC reference. Wow.
I remember Wikipedia pages that I read half an hour ago.
All right, I retract.
But one thing I did pick from that was that he actually is a Harvard-educated English major.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
awesome.
I saw that. I was like, all right, more on you, dude. Like,
nice. Well, like the Catwoman book, he is writing and drawing at the same time.
Oh, nice.
So he definitely knows his stuff for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's a great talent.
But no, it was fun as hell. Like, I did not expect, for one, when you mentioned Ali Wong, I was just like, huh, that actress looks like Ali Wong. I wonder who that is. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it's Ali Wong. Okay, cool.
Yep.
But like, I mean, it's a teaser, and it at least gives you the impetus for how everything jumpstarts. I'm sure that it's going to be a lot deeper than this from what you're describing, but it was enough to get the hooks in.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the effects budget was enough for the insane visuals that are in the book, because like I said, there are just like futuristic soldiers flying on giant pterodactyls. There's giant tardigrades fighting each other. There's just time machines and spaceships that move in ways that you've never seen before. Like, I don't know. I hope that they crush this series, because it's a really cool book. And like I said, I'm only through book 1 so far, and book 1 meaning the hardcover big. It's the first like 10 chapters of the story.
That version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm very excited about Paper Girls coming to Amazon Prime July 29th. It's
Amazon Prime. Like, give them, like, they've got the Bezos bucks to do it. I mean, they dropped $500 million on Lord of the Rings. Just give Paper Girls its due.
Hopefully. And I'm hoping that, I don't know, because like my thoughts go to the last adaptation of a Brian K. Vaughan thing we saw, which we loved, Y the Last Man, on Hulu, but it got canceled. It didn't go anywhere. Well, it was on FX and Hulu. It wasn't exclusively to Hulu. So maybe this will do a little bit better if Amazon really like pushes the marketing, pushes the advertising a little bit. Hopefully it'll get some more eyes on it. Because I would love to see this. I would love to see this start and finish. I guess I don't want to be left in the lurch like we did.
I do worry with Amazon after the bastardization of what they did with Wheel of Time.
Yeah, right.
So that
has there been any?
They greenlit a season 2, but that did
they
not.
Okay.
That didn't stay remotely true to the source material.
Right.
So let's hope that they do that for, Paper Girls and or things in the future, because why would you make an adaptation of something if you weren't going to... It's not even a stay true. It was just like completely off the wall.
Yeah.
Like, take your liberties. That's fine. I
Sure.
know
Yeah,
things can't be perfect with a TV series. Like,
it's a different medium. You got to change things up. Sure.
But FX and Hulu, I thought, did a very good job with Y.
Incredible. Yeah.
This, on the other hand, was very esoterically out there. So
yeah,
who knows?
Well, maybe whatever liberties they took knowing that they needed to hook an audience and to get a season 2. So hopefully now that they have a season 2, they can be a little more what you're expecting. I mean, Amazon being a more watched property than Hulu, I think in general, I am hoping that Paper Girls is around for a season 2 for sure. So we shall see. Fingers crossed.
That'd be good.
All right, moving on into comics. Oh, this was a super cool piece of news that dropped this week from Comicron.com. It's a website that kind of like does data around comic book sales and comic book popularity, anything like that. They just published a report this past week. Apparently, sales of both comic books and graphic novels increased by 60% in 2021. This means that publishers made more money selling comics and graphic novels in the year 2021 than any year in the history of the industry, even after you adjust for inflation. More money made on comics and graphic novels in 2021 than in the history of comic books. That is awesome. And people love to say, like, oh, comic books are dying. Digital is the future. Apparently that is not the case, because it was like digital books went up too, but physical comics and physical graphic novels blew them out of the water. It was a 62% increase over 2020 and a 70% increase over 2019, which was obviously that was last year. That was pre-pandemic, and it just continued to grow during the pandemic and shot up like crazy, apparently, in 2021. So
yeah,
I think that is just, I don't know, it makes me happy to read that kind of thing.
No, it's a medium that's stood the test of time at this point, and if it's only growing at this juncture, it's even better. Yeah,
I don't know if there's any signs of it slowing down, and I don't know. Like, I said that to my wife before I started recording. I mentioned that statistic to her, and she's like, "Well, why do you think that's happening?" I was like, "Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it is just the fact that like movies and TV are like talking about these characters and people want more, or if it is just the fact that the quality is so incredible. Like, I mean, I think there's some incredible series being published right now. I mean, I think DC is doing its best work that it's done in, I don't know, since the last 10, 15 years at least. Like, the DC is absolutely crushing it. I know Image has tons of books that are like being optioned for a series and stuff. Like, the market is just there, there, and people are just ready for it. Like, I think this kind of serial storytelling is just what people are gravitating towards right now. I don't know. Well, I don't really know why, but I think I'm happy that it's happening.
Because that's industry wide, so that's not just the big two.
Exactly. Like, that's not just even specific to publishers. That's specific to like comic book stores and retailers. Right. Yeah.
So we're seeing, indies being picked up left and right. Like, I've talked to more people excited about indie books than I have in years.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it's always been Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, with like a smattering of Image or Dark Horse or one of the other, like the big indies. Yeah. Boom Studios, that sort of thing. And lately it's just been like all over the place. And I know. It's only good for the industry.
Only good.
As I'm very excited about it. Someone who's trying to push a book out.
Yeah, by the way, I might as well say that now. I guess while we're talking about comic books, my comic book is done, and it's off to the printers. Digital books coming out this week. So if you backed my Amazing Shakes Kickstarter, you should be getting your digital copy sometime over the next week. I'm saying it right now to partly because it's true, partly because I want to make sure that I actually do it and send out all the stuff I need to send out.
It's now on the
So-
interwebs.
Yes, and I said it on this podcast, and I said it on the my other podcast actually that I recorded last week. So it's out there twice, and I sent an email to all my backers saying that it's going to come out this week. So
With
I am
an
on the hook.
absolutely amazing cover by Riley McFarlane.
Right? Isn't that cover great?
Yeah.
Yeah, we released our main cover. I know it's not normal to necessarily release the main cover right before the actual book comes out. Usually that's something
Right.
that happens in like early promotion times, but it just didn't work out that way for us.
Well,
So
you guys also
know, what are you
dropped the
gonna
two promo covers early, and then
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we
So-
dropped some variant covers. We dropped some other like artwork and stuff like that. But anyway, Amazing Shakes #1, Vampire Girlfriend, is going to be out very shortly. If you're someone that's listening to this and is interested in my comic book, I don't know, email us at multiversereport@gmail.com or contact us on social, whatever, and I will figure out a way to get one to you somehow. So we'll
There
figure
you
it
go.
out. Let me know. In other comic book news, well-renowned author Dan Slott and well-renowned artist Mark Bagley are launching a new ongoing Spider-Man title this fall for Marvel, simply called Spider-Man. No adjectives. Not amazing, not spectacular, just Spider-Man. It's going to be the follow-up to Marvel's End of the Spider-Verse event that's happening later this summer. The story starts in the fall. Features Peter Parker having to team up with Norman Osborn. What?
seems
who
normal.
supplies him with some new tech, including his own glider, to help him take on the villain Morlun and an unknown but powerful partner. So Morlun's teaming up with somebody big and bad. This series hits shelves on October 5th, and I couldn't tell from the article that I read about this if this was a multiversal version of Peter Parker that's teaming up with Norman Osborn, or if this was like the main continuity Peter Parker that's teaming up with Norman Osborn and getting weird tech and a glider. But I don't know. What do you think about this?
I don't know, and I think we've established before I'm not a Slott fan per se.
He definitely has his fans and he definitely has his detractors. I think.
Yeah, I mean he's fine. He does his
Yeah.
thing. His recent run on Fantastic Four had some merits. Like
Yeah, I think it also caused some controversy, as well. But
I guess the first like 28 issues I was a big fan of, and then there was some
Yeah.
funky stuff that happened and whatever. And that seems Slott in a nutshell. Like he's great for a bit and then takes a turn and does something different, and it might not work out. Then he takes a turn and it's good again, and
yeah,
there's a lack of consistency. The highs are high, the lows are low.
yeah,
Bagley, I don't see that's the problem with this book is like for me personally, like these are two renowned writers and
Yeah.
artists,
yeah,
but like neither are my bag.
right.
So it's like Bagley's art, I just have never stylistically enjoyed that much. So I'm not amazingly looking forward to it, but I get where people would be drawn to it.
Yeah. No, I get that. Sometimes, I don't know. Do you want to know? There's an artist that everybody loves, and I just don't get at all, and I don't like it. Do you want to know who it is?
Who's that?
John Romita Jr.
Okay, I can see that.
I don't get it, man. Like people like love and revere his work, and I just look at it. I'm just like, I don't like this. It just doesn't speak to me.
Romita the Elder, that's its own animal.
Yeah,
Romita Jr.,
exactly. Yeah,
I can see where you got that.
he's writing Spider-Man. He's drawing Spider-Man. I mean, drawing Spider-Man right now. He's done Batman books in the past, like all over the
yeah.
place. And I don't know what it is. I'm not into it. It just doesn't speak to me in a way that it speaks to apparently the vast majority of other comic book readers. I'm just like, meh.
Yeah.
Tell me he's on a book and it's a strike against it for me. I don't know. Ugh, I'm sorry. Sorry, John. That's just who I am.
No, and I get it. He's like I said, I totally understand with Junior.
Yeah.
I get why people like him.
And they're both legendary. Like, I'll give it to them, sure. But
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
Just doesn't jive, man. It happens.
Send your hate mail to the Multiverse Report at gmail.com. You all John Romita Jr. stands out there.
Star Wars prequels, John Romita Jr. and Mark Bagley. And Dan Slott hate.
And Dan Slott hate.
It'll all come in.
Tell us why you hate us for hating them. We don't hate them. This is not our cup of tea.
Yeah.
This week in your local comic book store, we got, speaking of John Romita Jr., Amazing Spider-Man number 5, Avengers Forever number 7, Batman number 125. This is the beginning of Chip Zdarsky's run on the character. I am super excited for it. Got it on my pull list.
Mine's going to be pulled.
Town. Yeah, mine's going to be pulled too. Very excited. Batman 89 number 6, the final chapter of Batman 89 finally coming out. Very excited about that. Black Panther number 7, Carnage number 4, Dark Beach number 4, DC versus Vampires number 7. I do not remember writing the words Dark Beach on this rundown. Clearly I did because it's there. I do not remember
exists.
doing that at all. Okay. I mean, I clearly it exists. I just don't remember even reading it and putting it down, but it's there.
Yeah.
DC versus Vampires number 7, Flashpoint Beyond number 3, Heavy Metal Drummer number 6, Philadelphia number 23, Monkey Prince number 6, Once in Future number 27, Poison Ivy number 2, Saga number 60, Spawn number 331, and That Texas Blood number 15. Steve, I know you're getting Batman 125, Chip Zdarsky pulled. Mm-hmm. Anything else on this list or anything else that you're reading? I mean, you just held up your
Once in Future is always. So my recent grab, volume 1 book 1 is what it's considered now of the Sandman. Neil Gaiman with 4 different artists, so it's got to span a good bit of the story. But beyond that, just my normal pulls. Once in Future is always a favorite. They've just Gillen has just done a very good job with that. Yeah. So
I was in my comic book shop this past week, picked up some stuff from my box that I guess had been in there for a while. Also grabbed book 1 of Aquaman Andromeda, the Ram V underwater horror story. It is great. The art is incredible. I don't remember the artist's name off the top of my head, which is a shame. I wish I had the book in front of me. I just finished, right before we started recording, I finished reading it. It is really great. Kind of got a little bit of alien vibes almost, a crew of a ship that they don't really know what they're doing, where they're doing it, and I don't know. There's also giant sea monsters. It's great. Big fan of it. Also picked up...
Christian Ward is the artist on that.
Christian Ward, yes. Thank you. Also picked up Gail Simone's new book for Marvel, The Variants. Jessica Jones, looking into different multiverse variants of herself, I guess. I'm about halfway through the book so far. I love it. I love Gail Simone's writing, and she's doing very well writing Jessica Jones. It seems like a really good fit. There's already been a Daredevil cameo in the first few pages, which I thought was excellent. What else am I looking at? Oh, Paper Girls. I'm on vacation this upcoming week, and we're just going to a house on a lake somewhere with my in-laws, and there's not a ton to do around that area besides just sit in front of the lake or go out on a boat. So I am hoping to get a ton of reading done. I want to do more Paper Girls. I'm bringing a book. I'm bringing a Sandman book. I'm bringing a Swamp Thing book. I'm bringing just a bunch of stuff that has been sitting on my bedside table, not getting read for so long. I'm very excited to dive in and do a lot of comic reading while I'm on vacation this next week. So, sweet.
Yeah, you got to catch up on a bunch of floppies, but
I got floppies too. I got Nightwing. I got Batman, Catwoman. I got 3 issues of Something Is Killing the Children that I'm not caught up on. I just got to dive in and do it.
And for better or for worse, I keep getting these die cut covers because they're awesome.
They're awesome. So awesome.
So I've just got a stack of die cut Something Is Killing the Children staring at me do I want to open that and read it or just sit there?
I even got I got Poison Ivy back here that I haven't read. I got a Superman Son of Kal-El I haven't read. I've got I Hate This Place I still haven't read. I got a whole
I heard I Hate This Place is real good.
I know. We talked about it last week, I think. Yeah, it's getting bad. It's getting bad. Speaking of Jonathan Kent and Superman, moving on into some one-shots here. we got a trailer for the new DC animated film Battle of the Super Sons, inspired by the Peter Tomasi and Jorge Jimenez run of when Jonathan Kent is just a young boy before he gets transported to the future for a number of years and grows up. He was a child and became fast friends with Damian Wayne, Robin, Bruce Wayne's biological son, and Robin at that time. And the two of them teamed up, and it was a very successful and popular comic book series. Now they're doing a animated film based on those two characters. This trailer looks super fun. It's seemingly Starro the Conqueror is the bad guy. Who
it seems
love. I feel he's having a moment. coming off a Suicide Squad, and now in this as well.
Yeah, he's everywhere right now.
Yeah, a lot of Starro content coming out, and I'm here for it. It seems like they have to save their dads from being possessed by Starro the Conqueror.
Yeah, there's literally a couple of cuts of Batman and Superman with starfish on their faces.
With the stars on their face. Yeah, I know. It's great. So, I mean, the interaction, the friendship between Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne is very adorable. It's really lovely. It's great too. It was always good in the books, and it seems like from this trailer that they are kind of capturing that energy and that like feeling as well. Damian being like a hot-headed kid, but still clearly cares about John, and John being more of like an innocent, well, we're not supposed to do that, we could get in trouble kind of kid too, and that kind of relationship working really well. I'm interested to see, I said this to Steve right before we started recording, I'm interested to see what it is rated, because this is from the trailer, it seems like something that I would love to watch with my son. My son has read a few Super Sons comics, likes both of the characters very much, likes how they interact. I would love, but again, sometimes a lot of the DC animated films are rated R. They're dark and people die or get brutally beaten or killed in some ways.
Or whatever the hell Harley Quinn is.
Yeah, exactly.
That series is its own animal.
Yeah, it's its own animal, exactly. But even some of like the films they've done, sometimes I put on a DC animated movie and I forget that it's going to be rated R until like someone gets their head ripped off or something. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that these are whatever they want to be. So I'm interested to see the rating on this, but I thought the trailer was great. And I've talked way too much about it for being a one-shot, so I'm going to pass it on over to Steve.
Yeah, I was actually debating whether we were going to bring that one into the normal DC stuff.
Yeah, it probably should have been a normal one, but too late.
Hindsight. Also things, no, I got no way to segue that. Amazon is optioning new Image comic series 8 Billion Genies. Charles Soule and artist Ryan Brown have put out literally 2 issues of this, and it's already being developed for a feature film.
2 issues, and it's already going to be a movie. That's crazy. What?
Concept is a world where everyone has their own personal genie capable of granting one wish. Of course, those wishes begin contradicting each other, and drama ensues. Soule is he's been around the block a couple of times for Marvel. Wrote Daredevil, She-Hulk, a couple other things.
He's written some Star Wars stuff too,
bunch of Star Wars stuff. One of my favorite Anakin and Obi-Wan series. He actually wrote the novel that kicked off the High Republic. And he's done a bunch of other stuff in and out. The Vader series that is looked upon as one of the I guess the best works of Vader until Obi-Wan. That was him. He's done some very solid things. So
yeah, he's been around.
Definitely thinking 8 Billion Genies will be good. Did not expect Amazon to pick it up after 2 issues.
Yeah, that's crazy considering like something that's like an indie darling, like Something Is Killing the Children. I mean, that was like optioned, or it was like being looked at. Didn't we like have a story like a year ago that like Netflix or someone was looking at Something Is Killing the Children, but like I don't know. I haven't
would be
read
excited
the book.
About that once, think Stranger Things after Stranger Things, like they could take something and move with that.
Yeah, they can make that work.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't read. I have both issues. I haven't read them yet. They're sitting on that giant stack that aforementioned giant stack of stuff on my bedside table. But it is crazy that clearly, I feel like this must have been pitched as a series at the same time it was pitched as a book. It seems crazy that it would be just randomly picked up after 2 issues.
Right.
I mean, like, any contract that was signed was clearly signed after at least 1 issue had come out or before both, you know? I don't know. Maybe it was pitched as both at the same time, series and a comic. Who knows? Anyway, we got a release date for the next Monsterverse sequel. Monsterverse being King Kong Godzilla films. The next sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong is going to be released on March 15th, 2024. So we got some time before that's coming out. Also, the article that I read was not sure if the rights Legendary is the film studio that's been producing the Monsterverse movies so far. Not sure that they still have the rights granted from Toho, the owners of the Godzilla licensing. So I guess maybe it's 2024 because they need to figure that out. They need to buy the rights back or whatever. Also, King Kong has a separate set of like rights issues going on as well, where some of the rights to the character are in public domain, but some belong to a studio. Like I think you can't call him King Kong. I think
He's
that
just
name
Kong.
is like studio owned. That's why it's called Kong Skull Island and not King Kong Skull Island. Or it's called Godzilla versus Kong and not Godzilla versus King Kong. I think for some reason you can't call him the King without paying somebody some money. I don't know.
And you also can't call him Donkey Kong without paying someone some money.
Yeah, of course not. You're definitely paying Nintendo some money if you're calling him Donkey Kong.
We may have to just for saying that.
I would love a Godzilla versus Donkey Kong movie.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I hope that they announce that's the sequel that's coming out in 2024.
Godzilla versus Donkey and Diddy Kong.
And Diddy Kong. Well, Diddy Kong would be teased in the post-credit scene.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
He would be in the sequel, yeah.
Wow. We've gone down the rabbit hole.
We got it.
The next one shot. The way these are lining up, there is no way to segue.
No, sorry, not at all.
Warner
More
Brothers
release dates.
Oh, yeah. Warner Brothers has delayed the release of Dune Part 2 from October 20th all the way to November 17th.
So not a huge delay.
No.
Something.
One thing of note is it does put it more closely aligned with award season, which could be a
true.
thought.
Wasn't the first Dune was nominated for Best Picture, wasn't it? At least
I think so.
It was nominated for some stuff.
And probably,
it might have won visual effects. I don't
visual,
remember. Yeah.
So.
All right, cool. Are you pumped for Dune Part 2? Or
I'm quite pumped.
okay.
After the first one, it was like it got my thoughts and feelings spinning on the Frank Herbert verse again.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It's still crazy to me that it's coming out this year. That they didn't start filming it till the end of last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it wasn't even greenlit as a sequel until after the first one came out, and it's coming out this year.
Next year.
Insane. No, it's next year.
23.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was this year. That's a little less insane, but it's still pretty insane for a movie of that caliber to start in 2022. And because they didn't start filming until 2000. They didn't start making it until this year, and it's coming out next year. That seems like that still seems like
because
a lot.
they didn't greenlight it until like a month after Dune came out.
Exactly. Yeah, that seems crazy.
Insanity.
But anyway, we'll see. Denis Villeneuve is a great filmmaker, so I'm sure I'll throw something together. Now, the next one shot, another release date related one. Sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife will hit theaters December 20th, 2023. They definitely made Afterlife with the sequel in mind. They certainly set it up for a sequel at the end and the post-credit scenes, blah, blah, blah. I won't spoil anything here, but definitely something going on in the firehouse in New York City. We learned last week that the sequel is being tentatively referred to as Firehouse, Firehouse. That's like the working title. So we will see what happens with that December 20th, 2023.
Next up, the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, which is going to debut on September 2nd, 2022. Seems to be starting to ramp up the press tour. There's a couple of features on various websites that have popped up, including some profiles on Gil Galad and some interviews with some people. So I guess gird your loins, because there will be a deluge of information coming out over the next couple of weeks about this.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I saw something on Twitter today about someone, I don't know where they were. Someone said that they were seated at a restaurant with their wife, and at the booth next to them, after they had been there for a while, the booth next to them were seated Sean Astin and Elijah Wood.
Oh, yeah. Must have been
and
Colorado. I think they all attended like a con in Colorado this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And he was tweeting this while he was sitting there, and he said, they're sitting right next to me. I'm going to respect their privacy, but I'm freaking the hell out right now. And then a few minutes later, he, responding to his own tweet, said, the other two hobbits just sat down, like Dominic Monaghan and I don't know, Pippin. Said, and all four of them were having dinner together. He's like, I am losing my absolute mind right now. All four hobbits are sitting at the booth right next to me. And he's like, I couldn't help it. I snuck a picture, and he posted a picture of like the four of them saying that. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Over the years, apparently all of them have maintained like fast friendship.
Actual friends.
They've been good buddies for years.
I did an internship. My last year of college, I did an internship in New York City. And when I went down to interview for that internship, my mom and I went down for like a night or 2 days or whatever.
Yeah.
And we ate at a restaurant in New York City, and in that same restaurant, not next to us, but like across the room, was Elijah Wood and Sean Astin having dinner together also. So they've been friends for a long time, and it's cool that they're still going out to dinner. And I was like, oh my God, Frodo and Sam are right over there. Oh my God. Oh my God. My mom was like,
Who
was that? I don't care.
Yeah.
I was like, from Lord of the Rings to the Hobbit.
It's Rudy?
Yeah. Last but not least, one shot. This is absolute insanity, and it barely, barely makes any sense for us to be talking about. But we talk about Disney parks every once in a while, Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge, whatever. Apparently, on a Disney cruise called the Star Wars Wish, I think is the name of the boat, maybe, or it's the Experience.
The Disney Wish. They just launched a new boat called the Disney Wish.
Okay, so it's a new
cruise liner,
boat. Apparently, there is a Star Wars themed lounge on this boat, and if you're a rich person, you can buy,
there's no other way to put that.
You can buy a Star Wars drink for $5,000. Sweet God, I cannot imagine buying any drink for $5,000, Star Wars themed or not. So Matt Beseda, friend of the podcast, said that it might not actually be that the $5,000 is for the drink itself. That you have to pay. You have to be like top tier cruise member or whatever in order to get this. But like the article I read is Disney is selling a $5,000 cocktail on their new cruise ship. So it seems it's being reported that the drink itself is $5,000. I cannot imagine anyone spending $5,000 on a cocktail unless you are just so flush with cash and so sick of having so much money that you just need to throw it away on something. And
they describe what's in it, and it's
what's in it, Steve? Tell us what's in it.
Grand Marnier Quintessence, which is like aged Grand Marnier, like top shelf cognac. Okay. Some other cognac, some citrus fruit, yuzu, and kumquat. And then along with the drink, there are component parts in a cool space-age container, including Rip Van Winkle's Family Reserve 23-year bourbon, which is a couple $100 bottle.
Okay.
And you're getting a couple shots of it. There's nothing here. Taylor Fladgate Kingsman Edition Very Old Tawny Port. And a bottle of sparkling water from Skywalker Vineyards.
Great. Sounds amazing.
I don't see $5,000 there. I definitively do not see that.
I saw like a video of them like opening the container and like, smoke comes out of it or whatever. And the drink is it's like, as you said, it's like a shot. It's like a tiny shot glass. Like if I'm paying $5,000, I'm never paying $5,000 for a drink. Never.
No.
Ever. Steve, if you ever see me throw down $5,000 for a drink, punch me in the face. Okay? I'm saying right here and right now, I'm never going to do that.
If I ever see either of us with $5,000 in our hand,
yeah, just to like throw
something, we did something very right somewhere along the way here.
Sure. Sure. I still can't imagine ever paying that much money for a drink.
Nope.
Let alone it being for like a tiny little shot of a thing.
It's a down payment on a car.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane amount of money. And did you see the video, like the lounge? I saw like a video for like the lounge itself.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of like, it made me have a realization with like the Halcyon Galactic Star Cruiser that costs like $6,000 for a family to go for two nights or whatever. And like this, I was like, one, why are they marketing Star Wars to rich people? Like,
right.
Like rich people aren't fun. Rich people are like out of touch and annoying.
No,
right?
No offense to any actually fun rich people, but
yeah, if you're a rich person listening to this, I love you and feel free to sponsor our podcast anytime, but also be more fun. And also at the same time, like both things are, I get the Halcyon is designed in like High Republic kind of ideas or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but like both what I've seen from the Halcyon Galactic Star Cruiser and what I've seen from this like lounge, it doesn't look like, it looks like Star Wars, fine. It doesn't look like the kind of Star Wars that I am interested in visiting. Like Batuu, Galaxy's Edge looks like that dirty, used space Star Wars. This just looks like Canto Bight, like the classy, clean casino that nobody likes. Like that's literally everybody's least favorite part of any sequel of like the sequel series is the Canto Bight scene in Last Jedi, because it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to hang out at Canto Bight. I want to hang out at the cantina on Tatooine, on Mos Eisley. Like, that's where I want to go. So, like, you making a thing that is designed to look clean and pristine and cater to rich people it feels like the wrong side of Star Wars to me. So I don't care about it at all. So not only would I spend $5,000, I don't even really want to go to that cruise ship or that room at all, because it just looks like stale and bleh. It doesn't really feel like the kind of Star Wars that I care about.
Yep. I'll give you that.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have to say about
sterility, that clean. You know what? That clean, sterile environment is Imperial.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would not want to go visit a Star Destroyer. No, I would. I'm not lying. I'm
100% I would.
I would be there in a heartbeat. Who am I kidding?
But would you pay $6,000 to take your family there for 2 days? A Star Destroyer?
Depends on if I had $5,000 to spend on a drink while there.
Yeah. I can't imagine the amount.
That's $11,000, and half of that is a single drink.
Is one drink. I can't imagine the amount of money I would have to even consider throwing $5,000 down on one drink that I'm going to have one time.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine that. I would have to be at least a multi-billionaire.
Do you still have to tip on that?
Oh, my God. Yeah. What's the tip on a $5,000 drink?
I mean, it's still one drink, so do you slide the standard one across the bar?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
It's the same as pouring me a beer. Like, here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? You just put it in a thing with dry ice, and that gets you $2? I don't know about that, buddy.
That's pushing it.
That's pushing it. So anyway, I think that's all I got for this week, Steve, unless you have anything else. If you also want to rant about Disney catering to rich Star Wars nerds.
No, I don't have any extremely, random rants about very expensive drinks.
Okay.
However, I can tell you where to find us on all of our socials at the Multiverse Report. Like, follow, subscribe. Please leave a review on any podcatcher of choice. Helps the algorithm trick you into listening to us more. If you could do that, that'd be wonderful. The Multiverse Report at gmail.com, themultiversereport.com. Check us out, talk to us, let us know what you think, let us know what you don't think. Let us know what you think about $5,000 drinks.
Yeah. How likely are you to buy a $5,000 Star Wars drink? Also, reminder, I talked about it at the beginning of the episode, but we do have a poll currently on our Twitter page, Multiverse RPT on Twitter. What do you think they should do with The Flash? Should they reshoot it and recast it? Should they release it as is, or should they scrap the entire thing? Go follow us on Twitter. Respond to that poll. That'd be great. It'll be the topic of next week's Flash Watch. And going off of what Steve said, if you are somebody that's listening to us on a podcast, but you're like, man, I wish I could see their faces while they talk to each other. Guess what? We're on YouTube. We're streaming on Twitch also live right now. But if you missed us live, you can see us on YouTube. And hey, if you're someone that's watching us on Twitch or watching us on YouTube and wishes, oh, I wish I didn't have to stare at these guys' face. I wish I could just listen to them. You can find us on any podcatcher that you want, Spotify or Stitcher Premium or Apple or whatever podcast app that you enjoy.
Right. If you have some weird aversion to my giant Lego pile over here, then, check us out on podcasts.
Yeah, if you don't like looking at a bass guitar, or if you don't like looking at my Batman flag over there, Batman Rogues Gallery flag, then you can just listen to us. But if you want to know what I'm talking about when I just mentioned those two things, then you can watch us on YouTube. Or if you want to see Steve's giant Lego pile or his fish tank.
Yeah, or my giant Mjolnir over here.
Yeah, he's got a huge Thor hammer. It's worth checking out. Come watch us on YouTube, people. Or Twitch. Hey, that's all. But yeah, that's all I got for this week. Steve, got anything else?
No, sounds about right.
All right, cool. Well, in that case, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time in the multiverse.